Canned foods are frequently praised as essential staples for emergency pantries. They're inexpensive, widely available, and seem to last indefinitely. Yet, recent product recalls, supply gaps, and safety alerts reveal that not every canned item can be counted on. Some quickly lose nutrients, others deteriorate in heat, and many conceal hidden dangers that make them unreliable during real crises. From syrup-heavy fruits to diluted meats, certain canned goods may appear trustworthy, but falter when it truly matters. This analysis reviews 11 popular canned items and explains why they should not be relied upon as dependable survival foods. 1. Canned fruit. Canned fruit is a common go-to when people anticipate empty shelves or sudden shortages. It seems practical, affordable, accessible, and durable, but in a true emergency, it often fails to deliver. The primary issue lies in what fills the can. Most are packed in thick syrup, meaning they're loaded with sugar but provide minimal genuine nourishment. That sugar can offer a brief spike of energy, followed by a rapid drop that leaves you exhausted, an unwelcome effect in stressful situations. There are more concerns as well. A large portion of the can's weight is liquid rather than solid food, reducing the nutritional return for the storage space it occupies. Over time, essential vitamins, especially vitamin C, degrade, leaving the contents mostly sugary filler. If the can becomes dented or rusted, the seal can fail, making the contents unsafe to consume. During an emergency, spoiled food can be more dangerous than hunger, especially when medical help is scarce. Hydration also becomes a problem. The syrupy liquid can worsen thirst, a serious issue when potable water is limited. That's why many survival experts recommend dried or freeze-dried fruits instead. These options are lighter, longer lasting, and retain far more nutritional value. While canned fruit might seem comforting or convenient, it doesn't deliver the consistent nourishment or dependability required in survival conditions. When pressure mounts, it's more likely to let you down than sustain you. 2. Canned pasta meals. Recent health warnings have revealed significant flaws in canned pasta products. A public advisory was issued for ready-to-eat pasta sold at major retailers like Walmart and Trader Joe's due to potential listeria contamination, a serious food safety risk that underscores how unreliable these meals can be when hygiene is paramount. Meanwhile, many stores have reported shortages of shelf-stable pasta options, including canned spaghetti and ravioli, due to global supply chain interruptions. Tariffs on metals used in can manufacturing are pushing production costs higher, making it difficult for companies to keep prices steady. Though the canned pasta market is projected to grow, expansion doesn't guarantee consistent quality or safety in crisis conditions. Nutrition experts have also flagged many canned pasta meals as some of the least healthy processed foods, citing their excessive sodium, lack of protein, and high-calorie content with little sustenance. In a shortage, that imbalance matters. Depending on these cans could mean consuming too much salt and sugar while still feeling undernourished. The problem extends to the supply of durum wheat, the key ingredient in pasta, which has been affected by weak harvests and inflated transport costs. These factors make production more expensive and less reliable. Even established brands are struggling, with one major pasta label currently being considered for sale as consumer preferences shift toward fresher, healthier foods. Novel canned dishes like carbonara in a can have also faced backlash from chefs and consumers, questioning both their taste and shelf stability. Together, these issues demonstrate that canned pasta meals aren't the steady fallback they appear to be. In emergencies, people need food that is safe, nutritious, and durable. 3 qualities that canned pasta often fails to meet. 3rd, evaporated milk. Evaporated milk is another pantry favorite, often assumed to be a dependable, versatile ingredient. It's compact, stackable, and marketed as long-lasting. But in reality, it can be one of the least stable options when supplies run thin. The problem lies in its fragility. Although sealed, the fats in evaporated milk gradually break down. Over time, the texture changes, separation occurs, and the taste turns sour. In some situations, spoilage can happen even before the printed expiration date if the can has been exposed to humidity or heat. Several recent recalls highlight how easily this product can degrade. Despite its convenience, evaporated milk is far from foolproof. In survival scenarios, when refrigeration and replacements are scarce, it's a risky item to depend on. Entire batches of evaporated milk have been withdrawn from stores after some cans were found contaminated or contained bits of metal. Such incidents cast doubt on its dependability when hygiene and long-term storage are vital. Another drawback is how quickly it spoils once opened. An opened can remains safe only for a few days if kept cold, and without refrigeration, it turns unsafe almost immediately. Nutritionally, evaporated milk also disappoints. While many assume it can substitute for fresh milk, it actually loses a portion of its vitamins during manufacturing and storage. After extended periods on the shelf, it provides calories but lacks the balanced nutrients needed for endurance in stressful times. Rising dairy and packaging prices have also made storing large quantities less practical. Compared to powdered milk or plant-based alternatives, it presents greater risks with lower payoff. In emergencies, it frequently falls short of expectations for durability and dependability. If you're finding this helpful so far, take a quick second to subscribe for more practical survival strategies. Hit the like button to let me know this content is useful, and share your own thoughts or experiences in the comments. I always enjoy hearing different perspectives. 4. Canned potatoes. Recent food safety bulletins have renewed concern about the reliability of canned potatoes as emergency food. One recall, involving mashed potato mixes, uncovered plastic fragments, underscoring weak quality control in processed potato goods. Meanwhile, nations such as Russia, hit by poor harvests and rising costs, are grappling with potato shortages that have driven prices upward. This pressure forces canning companies to stretch supplies and reduce expenses, compromising quality. In 2025, the potato market faces instability. One region lost nearly a third of its stored potatoes to spoilage before they could even be processed, meaning fewer good potatoes reach the canning stage. Although canned potatoes appear to be a secure fallback, they're filling and familiar, they break down under prolonged storage or tough conditions. Texture deteriorates quickly, turning solid pieces into mush. Many cans are filled with liquid, so the actual food content is limited. Nutrients leach into the brine or degrade with time and heat exposure. Damaged or corroded cans can easily lead to contamination or spoilage. In times of famine or food scarcity, people often hoard canned potatoes when fresh produce disappears. Yet, these products often let them down. Limited access to clean water makes it difficult to rinse or cook the potatoes properly, and the salty brine can worsen dehydration. Because of their heavy weight, transporting large numbers of cans is inefficient. Furthermore, spikes in metal prices make tin and steel containers costlier, reducing affordability. Altogether, these warning signs reveal that canned potatoes are far from a dependable emergency supply. When conditions worsen, they may rot, disintegrate, or fail to provide the real sustenance needed for survival. 5. Canned beans with added sauces. A major recall of Yellowstone baked beans flavored with brown sugar and molasses highlighted serious food safety concerns. The affected cans contained undeclared soy, creating allergen risks and leading to thousands of products being pulled from circulation. Simultaneously, major supermarket chains such as Tesco have reported shortages in their flavored and sauced bean selections, signaling tension in global supply chains for sauces and additives. Rising metal tariffs are also driving up the production cost of all canned goods, making sauced beans pricier for consumers. Nutrition experts warn that heavy sauces, excessive sugar, and salt mask the true nutritional value of the beans. In many of these products, up to half the can's contents consist of liquid or sauce, diluting the overall food value. Moreover, these additives make the product more perishable. Sealed cans containing sauces can ferment or spoil more quickly than plain beans. One safety notice even revealed that certain bean sauces emitted strange odors before their listed expiration dates. In hot or humid climates, oils in the sauce separate, creating an unpleasant texture and taste. In regions struggling with hunger, many households still turn to flavored beans because they seem tastier. Unfortunately, those same additives make them less stable in crisis situations. Since legumes are already in short supply worldwide, reducing their nutritional impact with sauces only worsens the problem. In emergencies, what truly counts is how much real bean content is in the can, how stable the product remains over time, and whether it can resist spoilage under stress. Current trends indicate that sauced canned beans often fail these tests. Though flavorful and comforting, they compromise long-term nutrition and reliability when it matters most. 6. Canned fish spreads. Recent product recalls and shifting consumer behavior have raised serious doubts about the dependability of canned fish spreads as emergency food options. A popular tuna salad spread was recently pulled from store shelves after tests confirmed listeria contamination, despite the packaging appearing intact. In another incident, a company withdrew multiple canned tuna varieties due to faulty pull-tab lids, which brought seal quality and contamination risks into question. Market trends also reflect growing mistrust in these products. Consumers are increasingly abandoning traditional canned seafood in favor of pouches and fresh alternatives, showing that confidence in canned spreads is fading. Industry reports on shelf-stable seafood confirm this shift. Sales of canned fish are dropping while pouch-style products continue to rise. Canned fish spreads typically blend fish with mayonnaise, oils, dairy ingredients, or other fillers. These additives create instability. Oils can spoil or turn rancid over time, while emulsified mixtures tend to separate under high temperatures or pressure. If cans become dented or are stored in fluctuating temperatures, the chance of bacterial infiltration rises dramatically, especially in warm or humid environments. Over the past year, multiple recalls have involved seafood spreads and ready-to-eat fish mixes that showed signs of spoilage or contamination before their expiration dates. Nutritionally, these spreads also underperform. Because they are diluted with sauces and fillers, they deliver less protein than plain canned fish. The flavor compounds degrade quickly, often leaving a stale or unpleasant taste even if the food appears fine. Supply chain pressures, including higher metal prices and limited ingredient availability, have also driven some manufacturers to cut corners. To save costs, certain brands have switched to lower-grade fats and cheaper oils that oxidize faster. In emergency conditions, food must endure heat, humidity, transport, and long storage. Canned fish spreads, however, have too many weak points. Ongoing recalls and quality issues reveal that they are far more likely to fail when strength and safety are critical. 7. Canned soups. A string of canned soup recalls has exposed major risks for those depending on them during emergencies. One well-known recall involved Sea Bear smokehouse chowders, which were withdrawn due to a botulism threat linked to defective pouch seals. In another instance, several soup brands issued alerts after fragments of wood were discovered in cilantro used during production. Even chicken soups from major retailers were flagged for incorrect labeling and undeclared allergens. These incidents make clear that safety issues can arise long before a can is even opened. Aside from contamination concerns, canned soups often provide limited nourishment and a poor balance of solids to liquid. Many varieties are mostly broth or water with small bits of vegetables or meat, which means you could eat several cans and still feel unsatisfied. Cream-based or dairy soups are particularly unstable. They tend to separate when exposed to heat or jostling during transport, ruining both taste and texture. Fluctuating temperatures and storage challenges further accelerate spoilage. Under hot conditions, fats deteriorate and seals may loosen, increasing the danger of bacterial growth. Even the cans that withstand shipping can still weaken over time. In regions dealing with broken supply chains, families often stockpile canned soups as substitutes for fresh meals, but repeated recalls and quality failures make that strategy risky. While canned soup offers warmth and ease, its vulnerability under extreme or prolonged stress means it may fail you exactly when consistent food is most vital. 8. Canned cheese products. A surge of recent cheese recalls has sparked serious concern over the safety of canned and long-life cheese products. One large-scale recall removed over 5,400 pounds of cheese from distribution due to listeria fears. Another recall involved soft cheeses such as camembert after inspectors detected possible contamination in manufacturing. In yet another case, Aldi pulled packages of shredded Colby Jack cheese after metal fragments were discovered. These incidents highlight that canned and processed cheese products are far less trustworthy than many assume. Canned cheeses are typically formulated with stabilizers, emulsifiers, oils, and preservatives to extend shelf life. However, those same additives can make them more unstable under stress. Over extended storage, the fats in these products can separate or turn rancid, leaving an oily residue or bitter flavor instead of a usable spread. High humidity or heat can cause cans to bulge or seals to weaken. One recall even involved packaging flaws that left bits of plastic attached to cheese slices, posing choking hazards. In survival supplies, people often include comfort items like cheese spreads, but these products tend to fail first when conditions deteriorate. Their nutritional value is also limited. Processed cheese provides calories and fat, but offers little fresh protein or essential nutrients. In emergencies, that makes them a poor investment. Comforting perhaps, but nutritionally fragile and far from reliable. Many canned cheese items are also bulky and occupy storage space that could be used for more nutrient-dense essentials. The recent string of recalls has proven that even prominent, trusted brands are not immune to problems when it comes to product safety, consistency, and shelf stability. Among all survival pantry foods, canned cheese ranks as one of the most delicate. Though it might sound like a comforting luxury, in real-world emergencies it can easily spoil, separate, or even pose health hazards. 9. Canned chicken or turkey. A nationwide recall of pre-cooked poultry products recently drew attention to the instability of canned chicken. Over 11 million pounds of meat were pulled from circulation due to possible listeria contamination. Evidence that even well-processed meats can fail when safety monitoring slips. Another U.S. brand of canned chicken was flagged for packaging flaws that compromised seal strength, heightening the chance of bacterial contamination. At the same time, poultry supply chains are under heavy strain. Feed shortages and rising operational costs have disrupted turkey and chicken processing, reducing the volume that can be safely canned. Tariffs on metal have further inflated costs, pushing manufacturers toward cheaper, canned materials that may not offer the same durability. Consumers in multiple regions have reported swelling, leaking, or misshapen cans of chicken products, indicating spoilage that often begins before the expiration date. In hot or humid climates, the issue intensifies. High temperatures accelerate deterioration and weaken can integrity. In one food inspection alert, investigators noted a foul odor in canned turkey, despite the container appearing intact, suggesting that interior decay can go unnoticed. Beyond contamination concerns, canned poultry tends to deliver weak nutrition. The meat is frequently shredded and suspended in salty liquid, which dilutes both flavor and protein. Extended storage only worsens the taste and consistency, turning the meat soft or mushy. Once a can is dented or rusted, it becomes one of the riskiest items to consume from any emergency reserve. Taken together, these problems make canned chicken and turkey unreliable choices for survival food. They are prone to spoilage, packaging failures, nutrient loss, and contamination, turning what appears to be a high-protein fallback into a potential hazard when it matters most. 10. Canned mushrooms. A surge in mushroom-related recalls has highlighted the fragility of canned fungi in crisis supplies. Several manufacturers have withdrawn products due to suspected listeria contamination in both fresh and processed varieties. One large recall involved sliced mushrooms distributed across multiple U.S. states, while another targeted enoki mushrooms after positive contamination tests. These events emphasize that even when preserved, mushrooms remain highly vulnerable to bacterial threats. Beyond safety issues, the mushroom sector itself is under increasing strain. Labor shortages in key production areas have reduced harvest quality, as mushroom cultivation demands precise timing and delicate handling. With fewer workers, yields drop and producers struggle to maintain standards. Meanwhile, growing global demand for convenient, ready-to-use foods has pushed processors to accelerate production, often at the expense of quality control. Though the canned mushroom market, now valued at over $13 billion, continues to expand, that growth conceals mounting safety and quality risks. Canned mushrooms also degrade quickly over time. Texture and taste decline. Pieces become rubbery or overly soft. Since much of each can is filled with liquid rather than solid food, the nutritional yield per unit is poor. Thin slices dominate most cans, leaving you with less substance for the weight. Under harsh conditions, heat, humidity, or long storage, seals may weaken, allowing bacteria or mold to infiltrate unseen. In emergencies, when clean water is scarce, draining or rinsing canned mushrooms becomes difficult, and the salty brine can worsen thirst. Dented or corroded cans further raise the chance of hidden spoilage. Altogether, these recalls, production pressures, and product flaws expose canned mushrooms as unreliable for survival use. They may seem practical, but when food security truly matters, they often fail first, offering disappointment instead of dependable nourishment. 11. Canned desserts. A series of dessert-related recalls has shown that shelf-stable sweets are far from safe bets in emergencies. One major case involved large cans of chocolate pudding that were withdrawn after container damage allowed microbial growth to develop. Another recall targeted dessert dips sold at Aldi for possible plastic contamination, while a Florida producer pulled mousse desserts due to undeclared allergens including eggs, soy, and tree nuts. These incidents illustrate how canned desserts, though marketed as convenient treats, carry real health and stability risks. Their sugary, dairy-based, or creamy compositions make them particularly sensitive to temperature changes and spoilage. In crisis conditions, when refrigeration and quality oversight are limited, such products can quickly become unsafe rather than comforting. Another widespread recall involved cinnamon bun dessert tubs, which were pulled from stores nationwide due to the risk of plastic contamination. Incidents like this highlight just how fragile and unsafe canned desserts can be as emergency provisions. Though they appear appealing, sweet, comforting, and seemingly durable, these products rarely perform well under demanding conditions. The combination of sugars, fats, and binding agents that make canned desserts taste rich also makes them more prone to breakdown when subjected to heat, shifting temperatures, or long storage periods. If a can becomes damaged or its seal weakens, spoilage can occur unnoticed behind an intact exterior. Even when a can looks fine, hidden breaches can allow bacteria or mold to develop. From a nutritional standpoint, canned desserts provide almost no meaningful sustenance. They're loaded with sugar and calories, but lack essential nutrients like protein, fiber, and vitamins. In emergency scenarios, when the body needs lasting energy and hydration, such foods can actually worsen fatigue and dehydration through rapid sugar spikes and crashes. Moreover, these items take up valuable storage space and weight that could be better devoted to essential staples such as grains, beans, or protein sources. Considering their frequent recalls, unstable ingredients, and poor nutritional payoff, canned desserts are among the least reliable options for survival storage. Under harsh conditions, their fragility, hidden spoilage risks, and empty calories make them a high liability choice. In uncertain times, relying on sugary treats is far more likely to leave you disappointed than sustained.